Hello, I'm James from Kings and Bears, and this is the story of Warrior. So the initial idea for Warrior it's in two parts really. It's sort of about me internally but also external, about just feeling powerless, and in the internal part is the things I tell myself, or the limiting behaviours or the limiting thoughts I have on myself, and that kind of beating me down, as in the song, but also the external factors of things that you see in society, or things you hear, or other things that lead you to believe that you're powerless, or that you're kind of not, you're kind of weak, or things that beat you down. And it was really kind of writing an anthem, a mantra to myself, just to change that internal monologue for myself initially, to say, no, actually, if you make the choice, you can be a warrior, you can be strong, you can overcome these things. And it's not necessarily about physical strength or being a fighter physically. It's about that struggle, that self love, that self-belief, and me basically writing that for myself to tell myself that, so that I start to believe it. So that was the initial spark of the idea for Warrior. So the initial writing process for Warrior was, I knew obviously the lyrical idea was kind of this anthemic thing. It was about sort of self-belief and overcoming obstacles, and breaking through those self-limiting feelings, and external factors. So I knew I wanted it to be sort of the warrior element to be strong, it to replicate that idea of it harking back to sort of sounds and influences of warriors in the past. So the kind of the rhythmic ideas, but also knew that I wanted it definitely to be a Kings and Bears song that had reggae influence, because of the nature of the lyric being, I don't know, enlightenment, I suppose, that I knew it had to have that reggae element, but with the kind of the dichotomy of the big riff, the big kind of rock riff, being the kind of the breakthrough of kind of the emphatic moment of power and sort of self-belief, I suppose. And then taking it to the band, it developed fairly quickly in the rehearsal room, because the main idea was fairly well sketched out, and I demoed it a little bit. But what we did, which is probably as any bands out there is not a good idea, is we played it out. We've played it out live for a long time before we released it, which is not advisable really. You shouldn't play a song live unless you've got it recorded so that you can promote it after the event. But c'est la vie. So, but the advantage of that is it meant that we could really play with the song over a period of time and get to know the response from an audience, and that helped us, so that when we went into the studio we had a really clear idea of how it came across to people and how we wanted it to be. The emphasis was again on coming back to this idea of the kind of tribal warrior sound. The intro is trying to replicate that idea of tribal drums, and it's having that warrior idea represented in the sounds. But also it's about light and shade, because it is between the verses and the chorus and the riff, this idea of climbing towards that moment of realization, or that moment of feeling empowered and feeling like the warrior that you are. So yeah, that's Warrior, and we're really proud of it, and we're so chuffed with the response we've had. And yeah, thank you to everyone that's listened and to streamed, and keep listening, keep streaming, keep sharing, and I hope you enjoy the song.